Hello everybody, I'm Miss Lisa and we're going to do some cooking today. I look forward to the time when we can cook together again at the library, but we can't right now. So hopefully you're in your kitchens, you got your permission from your grown-ups to do this, or maybe hopefully a grown-up's nearby. Um, and what I have done here is I've tried to set out everything I'm going to need before I start cooking. That's so important. Everything in its place, measured, ready to go. Okay, so let's start. Today, the first thing we're going to make is watermelon slushy. So first we have our watermelon. Now you see that I already have this all cut up into big chunks. If you buy a whole watermelon, that's fine too, but make sure you have a grown-up help you. Watermelon can be kind of hard to cut. The rind is very thick. So you can also buy it this way already cut up. It's a little more expensive, but it does save you time. So that's something to think about. Next, I made what we call a simple syrup, and it's just water and sugar mixed together, and I put it in a jar and put the lid on, and I shook it for about 2 minutes, and then we have this nice little way to sweeten our slushy. And the benefit of this, it's so easy to do. You put it in a jar and keep it for a few weeks, but it adds a little sweetness, but it doesn't leave any of that grain from adding just regular sugar without the water. And next we have our 2 limes, which we're going to cut and juice here in just a minute. I have a fun little utensil that I'm going to show you, a little lime and lemon juicer we can use. I like gadgets, so we're going to use a gadget, but you can do it without a gadget. And then of course I've got my salt, and that's all we need. We don't need pepper for this one. We'll scoot that over. It's time to start making our slushies. Now I don't want to put all of this watermelon in at once. That's quite a bit. So let's just put part of it in. I'm going to use a little spatula here to help me. Hopefully not so make such a mess. Maybe I'll put about half of it in. Watermelon has a lot of water in it already, so that's a good thing when you're using the blender. Next, let's put in a little bit of our simple syrup. You don't need too much. You can always add more if you like a little sweeter. A pinch of salt, and that's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. See that? There's my pinch. Dink. Even when you're making sweet things, you have to add a little bit of salt. That actually brings out the flavor. Now, I told you earlier about my gadget for my lime, but before we actually use our lime juicer, just to help wake this up, we're going to take it and we're going to roll it back and forth. And that helps to loosen up those juices so that it's going to be nice and juicy when we do juice it. And then when I hold my knife, I want to get a good grip on it. My thumb up there, my finger, not too far off the blade, but just so I have a nice, and then my fingers go back, and then I'm going to come down and cut. A little bit of a rocky motion. Now let's take our juicer. This is fun. You can juice lemons or limes, and that's why one's green and one's yellow. Isn't that cute? Now, you don't have to use a juicer if you say, oh, Miss Lisa, I don't have a juicer. That's okay. You don't have to have one. It's just fun to have one, okay? So we're going to put this in. We're going to take this. We're going to put it right over our blender the best we can. It's not going to fit down there very well. We're going to squeeze. Do you see that juice coming out? Now, let's say you don't have one of these fancy things. It's okay. You can just take your hand and you can just squeeze it like this and hold the other hand underneath it just in case you get a little bit of the seeds. You don't want the seeds to fall in. So we squeeze with our hand, and then see how that juice is just coming out. So now let's go ahead and run this just a little bit. So I'm going to just run this for maybe 15 seconds. It's going to be noisy. There we go. Okay, now we need to add the rest of our watermelon. I did forget to mention, but it's good if you can chill your watermelon ahead of time. That way it's nice and cool and cold. If you don't do that and it's not that cold, you can, let's say you're taking a whole watermelon and you forgot to chill it, you can always add some ice with your smoothie, okay? Your slushy. Hey, I think that looks pretty good. Let's pour it now into a glass. Look at that. This is so good for you. And it's pretty to look at. And I didn't add very much sugar at all. In fact, you don't even have to add the simple syrup. You could just do it without, because usually the melons are pretty sweet, at least in the summertime. So let's taste. Ah, that's good. So refreshing. I hope you have this a lot during the summer and have fun in the kitchen. Thank you for cooking with Miss Lisa, and we will see you the next time.